them die. That's what Joe Biden said to the black community, and I'm going to prove it. Now, I want you guys to subscribe, like, comment on this channel because, the big tech people don't like me and they're going to try to stop what I'm saying. But we're not going to let them do it. So today, we're going to talk about Joe Biden and the Democrats telling the black community and America, let them die on the Best Ever Ellison Show. All right, let's get this thing started. Man, I haven't seen some messed up stuff in my time. I have seen some messed up stuff in my time. But the nerve of these Democrats, I mean, the nerve of these Democrats. I got to remind y'all of this before I start. The Democratic Party is the evilest institution in the history of the world. I know you say, what about the Nazis? What about the Nazis? Nazis stayed in power from like about 1925, like 1945. That's 20 years, okay? Yeah, they were horrible. They were terrible. The Democratic Party has been horrible for 200 years, since 1800s, okay? Y'all know the whole thing. Now, you know the soliloquy, part of slavery, Confederacy, Jim Crow, now, Y'all already know the thing. Terrible, horrible, evil institution. Run by a cabal of perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots. Look at where they rule, right? Well, I'm sitting at home minding my own business. And I get a text from my brother. And in the text, it's talking about how the Biden administration is going to hold off on banning menthol cigarettes. I'm saying, what the heck is this about? Menthol cigarettes. Well, come to find out that menthol cigarettes are cigarettes that are exclusively, well, not really exclusively, but mostly smoked in the black community. 80% of black people smoke menthol cigarettes. Why is that important? Well, menthol has the ability to go into your brain and get you more addicted to the nicotine and make it harder for you to stop smoking. The FDA knows about this. And for the last almost 20 years, they've been trying to get the government, especially Democrat governments, since they're supposed to love black people so much, to ban menthol cigarettes. Now, they banned all other flavored cigarettes. But they got a problem with banning menthol cigarettes. So they thought they were going to get Joe Biden to do it, right? Joe's going to finally ban these menthol cigarettes, which are killing thousands of black people every year. Number one killer in the black community, smoking related. Heart disease, cancers, diabetes, right? So Joe Biden was saying he was going to do it, and all of a sudden he says, no, not going to do it. I'm saying, Joe Biden knows these black folks dying. Why is he refusing to ban these menthol cigarettes? Well. There is a reason behind it. And here it is. Yeah. This is what the story says. Public health experts and civil rights groups have repeatedly urged President Biden to finalize the ban, which was originally anticipated last summer, but has been opposed by the tobacco industry. Tobacco industry has a lot of money. Political advisors have warned that Biden could lose support by banning products popular in the black community, jeopardizing votes in what is expected to be a close election in November. So that is your reason. Tobacco industry. And I can't lose any votes. So let them die. Now, why would he do that? He knows there's not going to be any political price to it. Letting black people die? Democrats been doing that for 220 years and hadn't paid a price for it. You think he's going to pay one for it now? So I'm wondering, I said, okay, how did this happen? What was the behind the scenes finagling here? that caused old Joe Biden to say, yeah, I'm going to leave these menthol cigarettes alone. Who pulled his coat? Who changed his mind? I smelled a rat. And I knew exactly who that rat was. And I just did a simple Google search. Put in that rat's name, put in menthol cigarettes, and booba-looma-looma. That joker showed up like a noonday sky. Guess who the rat was, y'all? Al Sharpton. Yeah. You just say, oh man, come on. Him again? I mean, having this clown did enough damage in the black community. Now he's going to be behind hundreds of thousands of black people dying because he's behind smoking. He was already behind drug dealing. Now he's behind smoking in the black community. So let me, I'm going to read the story to you. Okay, it's in Politico. It says, Sharpton dodges the spotlight on the latest push to ban menthol cigarettes. Okay, it says, when the New York City Council tried to ban menthol cigarettes in 2019, Reverend Al Sharpton lobbied aggressively against the bill. Why would Al do that? He went on local television, fielded press queries, and called council members who ultimately agreed with his concerns that it would criminalize menthol smokers who are predominantly black. Now that Governor Kathy Hochul is trying to outlaw flavored tobacco this year, Sharpton, who's faced criticism for taking money, Al Sharpton taking money? No. But taking money from the tobacco industry is no less involved, but it's keeping a low profile. Al's ain't gonna keep a low profile on this one now. Can't be out there in the front too much. So guess what Al decided to do? Al tried to be slick. See, this is what Al did. This time he allowed powerful surrogates like the mother of Eric Garner and the brother of George Floyd to speak in his place so he can influence the issue without having to answer questions about his involvement or how it conflicts with the positions of other civil rights leaders. There you go, Al. I mean, I thought he liked me in front of the camera. He got his hair hot combed and pressed all the time. Oh, my goodness. A black preacher, black politician, black civil rights workers. The Iron Triangle, at it again, killing black people for political power. It's a variation on the theme, isn't it? You care about the slave dying? Pick that cotton. I don't care about the black man smoking. Pick those votes. Let him die. The story says that if they banned menthol cigarettes, in the near future, it would save close to 300,000 black lives. I guess black lives don't matter when it comes to smoking menthol cigarettes. Let them die. Are we going to get the votes? Yes. Let them die. If we ban the cigarettes and save black lives, if we save 300,000 lives, is it possible that I might lose some votes? It's possible. Let them die. Now, how did this happen? Well, back in the day, back in the 60s, the cigarette manufacturers were completely deregulated. I mean, they could do what they wanted to do. And when people come into the army, they give them free cigarettes. They smoke them. People get addicted, smoke them for the rest of their lives. When they would be walking down the street, they give them a pack of cigarettes. Here, man, smoke this. You go to the library, they just give them away. Because they knew that once you smoked a pack or two, you'd be addicted. In the black community, they definitely wanted to addict them. So they allowed them to sell these menthol cigarettes in the black community. Not in the white community, in the black community. So these menthol cigarettes, we all saw them. They were Cools, Newports. You know, yeah. I would see my uncles smoking them, and I'd see black men in the neighborhood smoking them. And I never ever paid them much attention because my father did not smoke, so I was not going to smoke. But I always know that they smoke the same kind. Go to the store and give me some Cool. I want some Newports. And I never saw white people smoking them. And I was wondering why white people smoked one type and black people smoked another. And I never put much thought into it until I started reading this story. And I understood that these menthol cigarettes were actually advertised to the black community intentionally. They would put the billboards in the black community with black men smoking the Cools and smoking the Newports and acting real cool while he's smoking them. And so what happened? A man would start smoking Newports and Cools in the 60s. His son would see him smoking the Newports and Cools. And when he became 13, 14, 15 years old, when he went to the store and started smoking, what would he ask for? Newports and Cools, right? And it became cultural. You didn't have to really advertise it any longer. It was cultural. So even though they stopped advertising cigarettes and putting them on billboards and putting them on commercials, matter of fact, if they have smoking on a movie now, they have to put a disclaimer or something up there, a parental advisory, smoking like sex and violence, right? That's how they try to keep people from smoking in the United States of America. But it's gotten cultural in the black community. So because we do what we see others do, the menthol cigarettes have become cultural. And when you start smoking them, they put this menthol in the cigarettes to make them more addictive. The story said this does something to the brain. It makes the cigarettes and the nicotine seem cooler and makes your brain get more addicted to the cigarettes. Consequently, 80% of black people smoke them. And when they started talking about banning the menthol cigarettes, the tobacco industry said, oh, no, hell no, you not. So we make our money. And so when they said, well, the FDA said, we're here to save people's lives. Now, what's more important than you, tobacco industry? Lives or money? Well, tobacco industry, money? And so they found somebody else with the same values to help them press this thing forward. And who was that? The Reverend Al Sharpton, the greatest of all black Democrats. Reverend Justice himself. And Reverend Justice put a little bit of heat on Joe Biden and said, hey, Joe, I'm getting money, but you need votes. Votes and money came together. So I'm getting my money. And if you go into the black community, well, if you take these cigarettes out of the black community, I'm going to see if I can cost you some votes. And Joe Biden relinquished. Now, y'all, why is this important? It says this thing about cigarettes. Please. This is about a party, an evil institution, that claims it has your best interest at heart, claims that it cares about you, claims that it's here to take care of you. What did Luke say on Cool Hand Luke when the warden said he was there to help Luke? And Luke said, boss, I wish you stopped helping me. Well, the Democratic Party has been saying for years that they're here to help you. And what did Ronald Reagan said, the scariest sentence in the English language is, I'm from the federal government, I'm here to help. Yeah, they're not here to help you. And this is just a way of proving it. Now, what else have they done? They said, we're going to send in public education to help you. Yeah, but who does it help? The teachers' unions. They bring every last one of those little black children down there, set them down in schools that want to educate them, and pay the teachers $60,000, $70,000 a year. Some cities like Washington, D.C., they average 6 figures a year to teach children, not even teaching the children to read. But if it is an option between taking that money from those the public educational system and allowing you to go to private school, no. The teachers are going to be taken care of, the bureaucrats are going to be taken care of, and black people are going to be left out to dry, just like the cigarettes, y'all. when it comes down to drugs being sold on the street. Oh, they can stop the drug trade. Why do you think they got that border wide open down there? But they get kickbacks. They get campaign contributions from these drug dealers. So if it comes to stopping the drugs and losing that money and losing those votes, they're going to let the drugs stay. Sacrifice you. When it comes down to keeping those illegals out and making all of these rich liberals mad, the George Soroses and the Zuckerbergs of the world, or letting you suffer. Right now in some cities, they said the rents are going sky high because the illegals are coming in and because they have so little space now. I mean, it's law of supply and demand, right? When things become scarce, prices go up. So now the rents are going up in New York and Chicago, and poor people and upper middle class people really are having to move out of their apartments or have their rents go sky high. Yeah. So if they have to choose between making sure that the people that want the illegals in and the black community loses every time. When it comes down to LGBTQ and these people transitioning your children, well, you know, these people in the pharmaceutical industry and the sex change operation industry, they need bodies, don't they? So now they're grooming these children at an early age to believe, teaching a little boy that he's a little girl, teaching a little girl he's a little boy, and then they put them on Obamacare. And they talk these parents and allowing these children to talk these children in these schools and allowing these children to transition. And there are places now in America you can go and they'll transition your child without your permission or your knowledge. And somebody's going to get paid, some doctor's going to get paid $100,000 to do this sex change operation on your child. And then until the day your child dies, they're going to have these hormones that, of course, Obamacare is going to pay for. And it's an industry now. So the more people they get to transition, the more money they make. And you can't keep them out. You know why? Because the government says, go get them. If there's a choice between you and the people that make the money, the black community always loses. So now your child is a guinea pig in the LGBTQ trauma, and they are using your child to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. God almighty. When it comes to hip-hop music, everybody knows this stuff is poison. Everybody knows. What does Plato say? He said, I don't need to meet the man that writes the laws. I need to know the man that writes the songs. The man that tells the stories and writes the songs are the one that controls the man that writes the laws. So hip-hop music has come down into the black community. They've allowed it to go down there and just pollute the minds of your children. B word, W word, the N word. They know they're supposed to keep that out, but they make billions of dollars. And those billions of dollars go back to the Democrat Party. So when it comes out to the people that make the money and the black community always loses. They selling y'all out, man. This is a variation on the thing. This ain't just about cigarettes. When it comes to the civil rights groups, everybody down there, you got groups all over the place, don't you? They all getting government grants to try to help the black people, the poor and the downtrodden. Every one of these black preachers looking for government money. Never do. The more money they get, the worse the community get. But they're going to keep bringing that money down because when they get these grants, they give some money back to the politician, and the politician keep going, and the black community gets nothing. When it comes down to the people that make the money and the black community always loses, y'all. And now it comes down to the cigarettes. FDA says these things are killing people. Says they're killing black people more than anybody. Says that if you ban them, you'll save close to 300,000 black lives in the next few years. If you ban them, you will save close to 300,000 black lives. And if you don't, close to 300,000 black people are going to die. It's a binary choice. And the first question out of Joe Biden and the Democrats' mouth is, will this cost me votes? Maybe. Will this cost me money from the tobacco industry? Maybe. Let them die. Y'all, I was born on a cotton plantation in Haywood County, Tennessee. My father was a sharecropper, but he aspired. He bought us out of the cotton field because he got involved in the insurance industry. He started working for a black man that owned an insurance company. His name is Al Ross. Al Ross was a good man. His son, Bill Ross, is now the mayor of Brownsville, Tennessee. So when the people said Vince hate all Democrats, you're wrong. Bill's a Democrat and Bill's a friend, and I'd vote for him any day of the week. I just recently found out after reading a piece by David Garrow in Standpoint Magazine that the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, of the Tennessee Klan, lived in Brownsville, Tennessee. This is pretty interesting because the Tennessee Klan was the most violent Klan faction in the whole South. Matter of fact, the Ku Klux Klan was invented in Tennessee, in Pulaski, Tennessee. Nathan Bedford Forrest, the old Confederate general, was his first Grand Wizard. Now, Nathan Bedford Forrest was a bad dude. That joker was cold-blooded. There's a fort not far from where I live called Fort Pillow in Tennessee. Union Army had taken it over, and it was a black regiment that had control of Fort Pillow. And Nathan Bedford Forrest didn't appreciate that. So he went and he attacked Fort Pillow, and he took it back, defeated it. All the Union troops had been disarmed. According to the Articles of War, you're supposed to take these people prisoner. Not Nathan Bedford Forrest. He gave an order. His order was, save the white man, kill all the N-words. And he didn't say N-word. And they killed him and they massacred all the black men there. Not far from where I live in Tennessee. I'm telling you that to tell you that I've been around these Democrats my whole life. That's why I despise them so. And that's why I'm not surprised when they do things like this. I'm just very disappointed, and not really surprised, but illuminated when I see that black people will hear this and still not leave this evil institution. But then I'm reminded of something that I saw when I was a boy that I will never forget. Roots came out as a miniseries. Alex Haley's Roots. And a lot of you younger people probably don't understand this, but Roots was a big deal when we were growing up. I think it's still the most watched miniseries ever in the history of television. Here's a story of Alex Haley's, and Alex Haley lived not far from where I lived. He lived in Henning, Tennessee. Henning, Tennessee was in Lauderdale County, and Lauderdale County was adjacent to Haywood County where I grew up. So Alex Haley was brought up right where I was brought up, right in the same area. Ripley, Tennessee is the county seat to where Alex Haley was born. And we played them in football, and we would go there and sing sometimes. So Alex Haley's story was a lot like my story. But he talked about the first slave that came over from Africa named Kunta Kinte and his family up into Alex Haley's family. That's what Roots was about. And they talked about slavery. There's a lot of terrible scenes on Roots. A lot of them. But there was one scene that I will never forget that is just sends into my brain to show you, that they explained to me just how slavery and the Democratic Party has terribly warped the minds of black Americans. It was this scene, and it was a nighttime scene. And it had this mother walking with her beautiful little teenage black daughter, the slave mother with her teenage black slave daughter. And the girl was looking like she was very distressed and very afraid. And the mother was explaining to the girl that, the the person might give her something new to wear or a new shawl or something, da 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 da, after this night was over. We didn't know until a few seconds later that the mother was actually taking her daughter to the white overseer's house to be raped. She knocked on the overseer's door, and the overseer opened up his door, and she said, "Master, I bought her here." And the little girl was looking terrified. And the overseer just grabbed the little black girl and pulled her in and ripped the little girl's clothes in front of her mother. Then looked at her mother. He looked at her mother and closed the door. And she heard her daughter screaming. And the mother then turned around and walked away sorrowfully and left her daughter to be raped by this white Democrat. What has changed? We still do it. I'll just give you a prime example right now about the Democratic Party is raping your children. How they're allowing menthol cigarettes to be sold so they can get addicted, and how it's going to kill them early. And you still vote for them. I've shown you how the public educational system does the same thing. Will not give them an education, so they cannot find a job. They cannot work. And you still take your children to them. I'll show you how they use the public educational system to sexually groom your children, castrate them, to sexualize them, so they can use them and misuse them any kind of way they want to, so they get them pregnant and they get abortions, and then they take your grandchildren and then they sell their body parts, and you still vote for them. I'll tell you how this Democratic Party keeps you from praying to your God and keeps your children from getting lined up with their God so they can live a good life in America, and you still vote for them. I show you how they bring illegals in here, they bring drugs and fentanyl and sex trafficking, destroying your communities and hurting your children, and you still vote for them. Yeah. Show you how they take hip-hop music and bring it down there and demoralize you, call you out your name and call you the B word and the W word and the N word, cussing, talking about shooting and fighting and fornicating. We try to stop it, but you still vote for them. You gonna tell me slavery is not a choice? There are some of you out there that I will never reach. I can show you all the information that can possibly exist, and you will still kiss these people with your dying lips. I'm not talking to you. You're wasting my time. I'll read your little nasty emails and stuff that you send. They don't mean nothing to me. You know why? Because you never give any facts. You should show your ignorance and your stupidity. I hurt your feelings. You can't handle the truth. That's all fine. But I'm giving you one today. It's just another way that the Democratic Party disrespects you, treats you like a dog, holds you in utter contempt, and you accept it. You deserve everything you get. But you know what? I do this because I know there's some that are listening. I know some are going to lean in and say, not me. I know some are going to say, I'm tired. I'm tired of being treated like a dog, tired of being disrespected. I love my children more than I love these Democrats. I love my God more than I love these Democrats. I love myself more than I love these Democrats. And I'm done with them. Tired of them. I will not go to hell for them. And I will not send my children to hell. I am not going to bring my child to the overseer's cabin to get raped again. Yeah, those my people. And I love every last one of you. Go to my website, thispeakstruth.com. There you are going to find all of my wares. You're going to find stuff I've written, stuff that I've appeared in, but you're going to find this great documentary. Will you go to hell for me? Tells you more about this evil institution called the Democrat Party and how they're trying to send your soul to hell. You are going to see my great book, The Iron Triangle. Like I've told you before, Book Authority gave it the number 61 of the greatest political books ever written in the history of the world. Tells you about how the most black preachers, most black politicians, and most black civil rights workers are your true enemy. And they're just keeping you down for the white liberals in the Democratic Party. Then you want to read 25 Lies. This is a handbook. It tells you about the 25 of the Democratic Party's most damnable, seductive lies. It will explain to you their tricks. It'll explain to you how to defend yourself. It'll explain to you these people in a way that you've never heard it before. Get 25 Lies. It'll change your life. And then the last one that came out this last October. Crime Inc. Calls the Democratic Party a mafia family. They use the same tactics as organized crime, y'all. No different. Because they're a criminal organization. They're an evil organization. Get Crime Inc. It'll explain it all to you. People, I am here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good today. So join me next week for the Vince Everett Ellison Show.